This is now the second time in less than 2 weeks that we heard about an illegal immigrant killing one of our American citizens. Joe Biden is to blame. Also in the news, we have Louisiana mandating that the 10 Commandments be hung up on K through 12 schools. This is a good thing because it will teach respect again. Of course, leftist governors don't like this idea because it teaches kids something other than paganism.
Facts over tracks, isn't that spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
Digging right into the headlines of the week, we actually have a Daily Wire article. We have RFK Jr. fails to qualify for a CNN presidential debate. So, independent candidate RFK Jr. failed to qualify for the first presidential debate of the 2024 election cycle that CNN is set to host this week, or in 1 week, I should say. CNN said that the qualification window closed after midnight on Thursday, with President Joe Biden and former President Trump meeting the requirements. Kennedy did not meet the criteria to appear. A CNN spokesperson told NBC News he missed the threshold to qualify in 2 key areas. Candidate needed to receive at least 15% in the national polls approved by CNN. Kennedy only earned that percentage in 3 of the accepted surveys. In addition, Kennedy is not sufficient number of the state ballots to reach the requisite is 270 electoral votes threshold to win the presidency. Kennedy's signature gathering effort has gained his ballot access in 6 states as of Thursday, according to the New York Times, but with a total of just 89 electoral college votes. In a statement, Kennedy said that his exclusion from the debate is undemocratic, un-American, and cowardly, which the thing is, you can say whatever you want about RFK Jr. I think that they should have just let him go on the stage because this would have been a really awesome time. If all 3 of them went on the debate stage, that would have been great. I mean, obviously, RFK Jr. is not the best candidate. He's a leftist. He's a Kennedy. Of course, you can say everything on both sides, good and bad, of Kennedy. But the thing is, he's a smart guy. He stood up to the vaccine manufacturers. He has done a lot of work in that aspect to expose the horrors behind the scenes that the vaccine manufacturers are pushing on us, the people. So it would have been very interesting for him to actually combat Trump in that aspect because of former President Trump pushing of the vaccine in warp speed and stuff like that. But the thing is, of course, Trump can just go and combat RFK Jr. in other aspects. Like, why do you think that that babies should be killed no matter what age they are, as long as they're inside of the mom's womb? Like, it's still a baby no matter what. So obviously there's some things to attack RFK Jr. on. I'm not saying that there isn't. Of course, there's some things to attack Trump on, and of course there's a plethora. Every single thing that Joe Biden touched is something that you can go and criticize Joe Biden on. So of course this would be a very interesting debate already. So just adding one more candidate would have been making the situation even better. So I think that Kennedy should have been invited. If I was the commissioner, or if I was in their campaign or whatever, I would allow RFK Jr. to come because it would have been very, very interesting to see. Also, at the same exact time, I don't think that they really need him. Obviously, they're going to have the ratings. We're going to be live streaming this live on Original Studios, on X, and on YouTube at the same exact time. So wherever you are, we're bringing live coverage of this debate to you guys. So that's very exciting. The announcement I made a few days ago. If you do want to sign up for reminders, you can go on YouTube and then go and click remind me of this event. I created an event on the live page of Original Studios already, or I should say the Demetrius Original Show, obviously produced by Original Studios. So of course we're going to be here. We're going to be in the studio live on next Thursday. We're going live at exactly 7 p.m. EST. The debate's happening at 8 p.m. EST. So we're going to be showing you all of the polls, all of the information that you need to know 1 hour before the debate actually takes place. It's going to be a very fun night, so join us live on that day. So the thing is, again, RFK Jr. should have been invited to that because it just would have made it so much more interesting, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with how it actually went because of the fact that you needed to meet a certain criteria. They're being fair to all the other candidates. So with that being said, they did try to get RFK Jr. off of the ballot in some of the states because of the fact that they didn't let him run as a Democrat, so he had to run as an independent. So I think that they should have let him run as a Democrat. Obviously, he would have got more votes if he was allowed to run as a Democrat. And I think that the Democrats are really kicking themselves now because now they're stuck with Joe Biden. So very, very telling exactly where the Democratic Party is going, obviously in total tyranny. And they want to pick the candidate. They don't want the people to pick the candidate. So with that being said, said, we have a Fox News article. Usually I don't go on Fox News because they're just as bad as CNN and MSNBC sometimes, but this article is worth talking about. So, like I said at the beginning of the show, there has been an influx of illegal immigrants coming through our borders. There's been an influx of a bunch of these illegal immigrants that have been coming into this country, causing a ruckus, causing a whole entire scene because of the fact that they just want to cause harm to this country. They don't like this country. Obviously, they have their own country that they look up to more than America, and it's a very telling thing because we allow them to come into this country with open arms. They come through this country and then they start killing our American citizens. That's disgusting. We should not allow this as a country. And of course, this whole entire situation is on Joe Biden's hands because of the fact that he's allowing this to take place in front of his eyes. So, of course, when we're looking at the facts of this, obviously we never had this problem under former President Trump. We had this and have this problem. We had this problem for years. We have this problem now under Joe Biden. So Joe Biden is the one to blame for this because he keeps our border open. He makes sure that there's no aid for the people that are working at the border. He makes sure that they are underfunded. He makes sure that none of them can do their jobs. If they do their jobs, deport these illegal immigrants, then they are prosecuted and they are actually fired. So it's not the Border Patrol that's not doing their job. Border Patrol wants to do their job. They try to arrest these illegal immigrants coming through this border, but then they have to catch and release into cities. So they catch the criminal, they record themselves catching, which is really good. That's only the first step though. You also have to release them into their own country, but they skip that step and then they release them into our country. But it's not because of the fact that they want to, it's because of the fact that their upper elites, their bosses, their managers, their supervisors, stuff like that, told them to do so. And if they don't do so, then they will get fired, and that's their livelihood. So of course, when you put on the line between having your family have money and a stability and have a stable household, and you making a decision based on a random stranger, of course, you're going to choose your family every single time. But there's a greater good because of the fact that you cannot let these immigrants into this country. And of course, that's exactly why I don't blame the Border Patrol for it. They're doing their job. They're doing what they're told. But the thing is, at the same exact time, why are we just allowing the supervisors, the managers, the upper of the Border Patrol, why are we allowing them to do that? Why are we allowing them to tell our Border Patrol to release these illegal immigrants into our country? Why are we accepting that? We should not accept this at all. Joe Biden needs to be prosecuted for allowing all of these illegal immigrants into our country, catch and release them into our inner cities. And of course, when these illegal immigrants come from Florida and Texas and stuff like that, that's because of the fact that these cities that are not border states want to become a border state by declaring themselves to be a sanctuary city. So they say that they're a sanctuary city and they will allow immigrants to come into their city and stuff like that. Then the border cities and the border states actually say, well, since we have so many illegal immigrants here, how about we just ship them over to your city or your state, because you are in a sanctuary state after all, right? In New York, in Michigan, and stuff like that, in Chicago, they say, oh no, we're a sanctuary state. They know for a fact that they're not a border state, so they're never going to have to deal with that. So they declare themselves a border state. Some cities declare themselves a border city. A sanctuary city is a sanctuary state. And then when they get the opportunity to get illegal immigrants, they get overwhelmed. Their system that they have in that city or state gets overwhelmed because of the fact that they have no idea how to actually handle this many people because they never had to handle that many people before. But they want to flap their gums. They want to start talking, and they want to actually start hating on the country, on the cities and the states that are actually dealing with the problem instead of actually coming to an understanding here. And this is exactly why a lot of the sanctuary cities and the sanctuary states are now turning their mind around. They're now coming to their senses because now they're seeing exactly what the border cities and the border states actually had to go through all of this time. So it's sad, of course, that they're being overwhelmed, but it's actually a blessing and a curse because they get to see the error of their ways firsthand. That's exactly what all these other governors in Texas and Ron DeSantis in Florida, these governors want the border mayors, the sanctuary city mayors and the sanctuary state governors to realize the error of their ways so they can start telling Joe Biden, listen, we have an influx of of illegal immigrants in our city, in our state, and we're not even a border state or a city. So they want them to go to Joe Biden. They go to Joe Biden, and Joe Biden just ignores them and then calls them fake Democrats and stuff like that. No, it's not true. It's not that they are complaining because of the fact that they're not real Democrats. No, they need to complain because of the fact that it's happening in their city or state. It's disgusting. And this is exactly another situation that we just saw unfold here. So again, this is a Fox News article. Rachel Morin murder. This is an illegal immigrant from El Salvador that was charged in rape and killing of a Maryland mom of 5. So we're actually allowing these illegal immigrants to come into America. This is now the second time in less than 2 weeks that I read of a story, and I'm reading to you guys, of an illegal immigrant committing a rape in a killing. It's just disgusting. Just a few days ago, we covered a story that happened over the weekend in New York where an illegal immigrant has been here since 2021. They were sentenced to court in 2022. Then they didn't go to the court case. They needed more information to prove that they actually should be here, and they needed to prove that they were actually in a danger to be here because they said that they needed to be here because of the fact that they were in danger in their home country and stuff like that. So then America said, okay, as long as you can prove that, then you can stay here. They never proved it. They stood here. They actually, over the weekend, went up to 2 13-year-old or 12-year-old girls and then brought them to a public park, raped the girl, molested the guy, and then went out and just acted like nothing happened. The illegal immigrant got beat up so badly by the people and the Good Samaritans that were around that he needed to go to the hospital before he actually got arrested. So the police officer said that this was actually a good thing that happened. He got his justice. But the thing is, he needs to still be in jail. He needs to rot in jail. And, you should tell, like I said before, you should tell these people that are also in the jail exactly what he did. And when you're in jail and you're looked at as like doing something to kids, that's automatically a beat up right there. So I think that we should let him, with all of the other inmates, turn the camera off, turn a blind eye, and then give him 10 minutes and see what happens. Let's see what happens. Because obviously, if this was a problem to the elites, then they would solve this problem really easily. But of course, they want to slow walk the solution to the problem. They want to actually waste our tax dollars on these illegal immigrants. They're not even worth our time. They're not. They're not worth our money. They're not worth our time. We need to make sure that there's justice for the people that had been victim to these illegal immigrants. Imagine if you broke into North Korea and then took one of their children and started raping them. Imagine what would happen to you. You would be shot on the street. Imagine if this would happen in China. You would be shot on the street. You wouldn't be sent to jail because other countries actually take seriously the ability to mitigate crime. They take seriously their effort to actually make sure that there's justice right away, not justice years later. It's disgusting. So, an illegal immigrant from El Salvador is responsible for the murder of Rachel Morin, a Maryland mother of 5, police announced. In a press conference on Saturday, Hartford County Sheriff Jeffrey Garler said that that Victor Martinez Hernandez was arrested late Friday night and booked on Saturday morning. 5 hours after meeting with Morin's mom and just before midnight our time, police in Tulsa, Oklahoma, arrested by our federal partners, located and arrested Rachel's murderer, Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez. Garler said he was charged with first-degree murder and first-degree rape, which is just disgusting. The 23-year-old illegally crossed into the United States in February of 2023, police announced. We all suspected that Rachel was not his first victim. Garler said that it is my understanding that this suspect, this monster, fled into the United States illegally after committing the brutal murder of a young woman in El Salvador a month earlier, in January of 2023. Garler said that their first DNA match for Martinez Hernandez was from a Los Angeles attack in March of 2023. So as soon as they came, a month after coming to this country, he committed a heinous crime. Of course, there's no databases for these illegal immigrants because they're illegal immigrants, and the police departments have no idea of even locating these people. So of course, most of the time they go under the radar because they have no idea what's even going on. Then he moved from LA after committing this heinous act, and he moved to Oklahoma. He went to Oklahoma and raped another person. They had the 2 DNA matches, and then they ended up finding who did this. So it's just disgusting. once in our country and likely emboldened by the anonymity, he brutally attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother during a home invasion of March of 2023 in Los Angeles. That's exactly why I will move out. I would not move to Los Angeles. I would not visit Los Angeles. I'm very good. Until they start fixing their city, I will not move, obviously I would never move to California anyway, but I would just not visit Los Angeles. I've been to Florida so many different times. We talked about this on Wednesday's show. I would never go to these Democrat-led states because their crime rate is just so astronomically high. I'm very good. I like going to these cities that are actually Republican controlled because there's actual law and order. That's what I want to spend my time with. I don't want to spend my time looking at homeless on the street. I don't want to look at all of these trash on the streets, crime rampant. I could see like a homeless person pooping on somebody's cart. I don't want to see any of that when I'm on vacation trying to enjoy myself. No, I would rather go to Florida where there's law and order and actually good communities within Florida, like Daytona Beach area, or I would go to St. Petersburg, or I would go to Clearwater, Florida, or I would go to St. Augustine and stuff like that. Those are the great cities within Florida that are really nice. Orlando's a little bit more busier because of obviously Disney. We have Miami that's a little bit more busy because it's more of a populated city. But there's so many great places in Florida that are very low key, that are not so busy, that are like town cities, and it's very nice. That's what I like going to because I'm like, oh, nice and relaxing. Obviously, Daytona Beach is a little bit more busy, but for me, I don't really grab a car unless I grab an Uber. So of course, it's very, very nice there. So yeah, I would just not go to California. Maybe I would go to Las Vegas, Nevada, because Nevada again is Republican controlled, so there's some law and order there. But that's about it. I would not go to California. That's as close to California as I would possibly go. So with that being said, we do have another Daily Wire article here. We have Pramila Jayapal chuckles while discussing news headlines about illegal alien raping young girl in New York City. So we covered this on Wednesday's show. There was a girl that was raped by a illegal immigrant that came in 2021. We just talked about it. And then in 2022, blah, blah. So the thing is, the girl that was raped was also with her friend that's a guy. And then as soon as they found out that this illegal immigrant committed the crime, he was actually beat up, which is very, very good. Justice was served immediately. Also at the same exact time, he shouldn't have even been here from the beginning. So again, if he was never here from the beginning, then we wouldn't even had this problem from the very start. So again, it's like a win-win, lose-lose because of the fact that you still lost some, but you won because of the fact that he got some justice served right away. So of course, Pramila Jayapal is just a despicable person. This is not something to laugh about whatsoever. There's nothing funny about this story. It's actually very quite sad and telling exactly why. She was laughing because of the fact that she doesn't believe this is an actual problem. She thinks that this is actually just something that the Republicans are focusing on and not something that's actually true and something that actually needs fixing. That's the difference between the Democrats and Republicans. Republicans want to fix the problems. Democrats want to ignore the problems. So Democrat, I already read that. Pramila Jayapal, Democrat from Wisconsin, I believe Wisconsin WA, faced backlash online on Thursday after she chuckled during a television interview while discussing multiple news chyons that networks displayed during a Biden immigration speech, one of which Fox News referred to as an illegal alien in New York City who violently raped a little girl last week. There's a lot of fear-mongering, Jayapal claimed during a MSNBC news segment with Joy Reid chyons that the three major cable networks displayed on their screens as Biden held a conference announcing that he was taking executive order to protect hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens in the United States. MSNBC soon, Biden announces legal protections for undocumented spouses of United States citizens. CNN, Biden announcing new protections for some undocumented spouses. Fox News, migrant arrested for raping a 13-year-old girl in New York City. So yeah, the Fox News one is the only true headline. Obviously, MSNBC, they're focusing on, obviously, there's two different things here. Obviously, there's illegal immigrants that have been in this country for years and years, decades and decades. That's fine. If you did not break any laws within that time, obviously, you can become a United States citizen. But that's totally different than actually paying attention to the problems that we have here. Those people are not the problem. problem. The problem is the illegal immigrants that are coming through, causing a ruckus, breaking our laws, which an illegal immigrant broke the law from the very beginning. Something illegal is against the law. You are illegally illegal. That means that you are not following the law, which is not legal, illegal. So it's just in the name of it, obviously. But the thing is, obviously, these Democrats want to exactly ignore the fact that these people committed crimes from the very beginning. But that's not the problem here. Again, like I just said, that's not the problem. The problem is these people coming through our borders, committing crimes, raping girls. And now that Joe Biden wants to focus on allowing more people to become United States citizens, read the room, buddy. Read the room. We just had 2 incidents within the last 2 weeks. Within the last 2 weeks is less than 7 days away. That's what I mean. So last week we saw something. I'm saying the last 2 weeks just to give some more wiggle room for issues here. But in reality, it's less than 2 weeks away from each other. Less than that. It's like 7 days away. Purely disgusting, purely evil. Focus on the things that actually matter. Not focus on the things that don't even matter. Focus on aspects that will fix the country, not aspects that will actually have no effect on the country. And then what he's going to stamp his name of approval on it. That's exactly what Joe Biden is doing too. So moving on to this next article, we actually have the Federalist article. So the Biden campaign sign paid for by the American taxpayer. So of course, like I was just talking about, Joe Biden is stamping his name of approval on every single thing that he touched, except for all of the gas prices and all of the market prices, the meat prices. He's not going to stamp his name on that because us, the Republicans, have been stamping his name on this for months, and then it keeps getting taken down. Every time I go to a gas station, I always see a little sticker and it says, I did that, and it's Joe Biden pointing towards the gas prices. So, and it's funny because it's always pointed towards the total price, and I'm like, yep, of course, it's Joe Biden's fault. Obviously, Joe Biden wants to put his names on everything that involves everything good that he's doing, but the thing is, he does not want to put his name on things that he actually destroyed. So, of course, in a letter to the director of the White House Office of Management and Budget, the OMB, United States Senator Johnny Emerist, Republican from Iowa, takes aim at an executive office memo strongly encouraging federal agencies to erect signs declaring costly public infrastructure projects around the country that have been funded by President Joe Biden. So, of course, Joe Biden wants to put his name on this because of the fact that he wants to take credit for it. But the thing is, you need to take credit for everything, buddy. You can't just pick and choose what you want to take credit for. You can't say, oh, this bridge was paid for by President Joe Biden's bipartisan infrastructure bill. You can't put things on that. You can put things on like random things throughout the country, but then not want to take credit for the gas prices, not want to take credit for all of the other things. So I kind of want to print these out and then leave these at gas stations, leave these at the market. I'll put the little sticker on them. The thing is, it's true. If you want to take credit for some things, you need to take credit for all the things. You need to take credit for the military officials that you got killed in Afghanistan. You need to take credit for the abandonment of those people. You need to take credit for the invasion of Ukraine. You need to take credit for everything, buddy. You can't just take credit for some things and not other things that you failed us, the people, on. Purely disgusting. And of course, if any Republican was to do this, they would get dragged up and down. They would probably get prosecuted for doing so. They would be prosecuted for misleading the public and stuff like that, because this is directly misleading the public. So again, purely disgusting, purely evil, because of the fact that you're just lying. And then of course, every single good thing, it's, oh, that's real, guys. And then every single bad thing of Joe Biden, they would say, oh no, that's a cheap fake. A cheap fake is actually something that the Joe Biden administration just does not like, of course. So if you say something they don't like, that's a cheap fake. So of course, with that being said, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dimitri Sergio Show. If you did like this episode and you do want to see more takes by me and you do want to see more episodes, subscribe down below and turn post notifications on, because I do post new episodes of the show every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. And I hope they have a great rest of your day. Bye.